All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. I got a juicy one for you today. I'm interviewing one of my community members, Miss Whitney Claypool. Miss or Mrs.? Miss Whitney Claypool, who has a really interesting story. You booked way faster than I did. You booked your first job. Your first audition?
No, my third.
Jesus Christ. Okay, tell me.
I had to go back and look at it like 3 times, honestly.
Yeah, that's nuts. So tell me your story overall. Like, what's your background? What led you to voiceover training? Do you have acting training in the past? Like all that kind of stuff. Give us the whole meal deal.
You know, I feel like now that I'm here, I feel like the universe has been preparing me for this. Like this is where I'm supposed to be. And it all started when I was young and I loved to read out loud in class. That was my favorite.
You love to read out loud in class?
I loved it. I loved it. I would count how many people, like 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's my paragraph. And I'd practice it and then I'd read it. And I always was so excited to do that. But in all reality, it was always something that I had in the back of my mind that I wanted to do, but I did not think it was achievable. I put this limiting belief on myself that if I didn't live in a big city, if I wasn't right next to a recording studio, how was I going to do this? How was I going to meet anybody? And then after COVID, like yourself, I went through a bad breakup. Kind of shot me into the life change.
Yeah, we'll do that.
And I kind of just sounds silly, but I was like, universe, show me what I need to do. And then I saw an ad for a voiceover, kind of like a professional development class. And I thought, I'll take a class because this will be so fun. And it was really funny because at the end of the class, they go, okay, well, we're going to call you each individually and give you a voice rating. And I was like, what?
What?
Like, just see how your voice is, I guess, to see if you were able to do it. And I was like, I didn't want to do anything while I was here. I just wanted to listen and learn. So it was one of those, like, Whitney, get out of the box. You're fine. Go talk to them. And they gave me really good feedback. They were like, you have a great voice. You have a great tone. This is something you could do. So I ended up taking this professional development class and getting a demo at the end of 3 months.
Hey! How long was it?
3 months. And
that's not bad. There's a lot of places that do like the whole demo mill thing, and they'll do it over a week. 3 months is not bad.
Well, but the only problem with this is there was no accountability. I had 2 one-on-one classes, so that's pretty much all I had. And there was like 0 practicing in the middle. And
2 one-on-one classes?
2. And then the demo. So 3 total, and then the demo. And so I was like, now granted, after I was done, I was really excited to have my demo. I was really stoked, but nothing was said about having an in-home booth. So I got done with that. And then I got really discouraged because I was like, I just spent all this money on this demo and this class, and I don't even have a booth. So like, how am I going to even work? And they were kind of like, you just need to go network and not exciting things.
See, this is why if I just jump in for a second, this is why I always say to everybody, the first thing you want to do before you do anything, coaching or anything, if you can, go get the gear that you need. Set your home studio up because you need a place to practice the skills that you're working on. And even if you develop these awesome skills, get this demo, what are you going to do? Like, you have to be able to record at home. So
100%, 100%. So after that, I got a little discouraged and took the next year, unfortunately, to build my booth because I was doing it on a low budget and just kind of trying to do it when I could afford it. Almost got my booth done and then had some more life-changing things happen. It kind of pushed me to start. I knew I needed a coach. I was like, if I can get a coach and get somebody to just give me the inside scoop of how I need a, plan. Just tell me what to do is what it was. I started seeing your ads on Instagram of all places. And I was like, this guy looks really
everywhere.
Right. I was like, this guy looks really legit. This guy looks legit. But I was so cautious because I was like, I don't want to get into the same thing I did again. So I joined your free community and was like, well, I'll just stick here, see what I can do. And then just seeing the success that people had in the paid community, I was like, I got to jump in and I just got to I want to do this. I got to do this. I might as well invest. And boy, was that the best money I ever invested. Holy shit.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah. It's gotten me.
What helped you the most? Like when you jumped in, what do you think really
Oh gosh. I feel like you gave us a cheat code to how to make it work, to how to get your name out there. I know I have talent and I know I can do it. And I know I can talk to people once I get them in front of my face, but I just didn't know how to meet people. I didn't know how to get my voice out there. And then the pay to play sites are fantastic, but they're really overwhelming when you start because there's so much on the back end and the algorithms that go into making sure you're heard. You literally gave us a cheat code for that. So it made it so easy.
Awesome. Awesome. So when you bought into voices, like, were you terrified at first? Were you like, oh my God, I don't know if this is going to work? Like, what was going on with you?
No, I was excited. When I first started, I'll tell you, I was doing my auditions and I wasn't a big fan of them, which is really funny that I got hired on my third one. But I just kept telling myself, like, this is practice. This is practice, and you're getting
Yeah.
feedback when it's good. So like,
100%.
somebody's shortlisting you, somebody's liking it, somebody's listening. And that was really good feedback to have too, because it's like, okay, I'm on the right track.
Before you jumped on voices, were you doing any auditions at all, or you just had that like one little bit of training, which was, what's the timeline between that? Like, was that like a year, 2 years?
So it was 3 months long and then about a year.
About a
So
year.
a year.
Okay. Before you found me in the community, then you jumped on voices. So about a year and 3 months, and then you booked on your third audition. And how many times have you booked now? Like, roughly, like, are you?
I'm almost at 20. I've hit
20?
almost 20 jobs. I got 4 jobs last week.
Oh my God.
Yeah. My booking
Where's
ratio.
my commission? Where's my commission?
I know. Seriously, you're going to need to start charging commission. You're going to be the second voices. I'm kidding. But I think on Voices 1, 2, 3, I just got on there 3-4 weeks ago, maybe.
Okay.
And I think my booking ratio on there is like 33-1.
So you booked on Voice 1, 2, 3, and you're like, what is it? You said 3 weeks? Like, so in your first month you've booked?
Yeah, I booked 5 jobs on V123.
This is awesome. I love it. And when did you start? Like, when did you jump on voices.com? So like, how long is this journey from like you to like book around 20 jobs?
Voices.com, I jumped on January 31st.
Of this year?
Yes. So this is just this year, February, March, April.
Wow. So past 3.5 months, you've booked 20 jobs. That's pretty impressive for a new person. You know, even some seasoned pros have trouble booking that many jobs. Yeah, that's really impressive. So what's next? What's the next thing you got to do? You got voices.com, you got Voice 1, 2, 3.
I just got some lovely headshots taken. So I'm going to start building my website, which I'm really excited for. And then I got to get going on my commercial demo and agents. After that, it is just like tootling right along.
Yeah. Now, honestly, I think you should like do what you can to expedite that process. Like, get on it as fast as you can, because like you're already hitting huge. So like, why not throw gasoline on this thing and go as hard as you possibly can? Yeah. Is that something you're able to do like right now, or you still got to kind of take it easy a bit?
Half and half. I'm still working another full-time job. Oh my goodness. You should see my day. I wake up at 5:30. I do auditions. I log into my other job. And then when I'm on break for the other job, I do auditions, go back to the other job, come back on lunch, do auditions. It's long right now. And I wish I could put more time into VO. I gave myself a goal that especially when I started doing so well, I said, I want to be full-time by August.
So are you able, like, with the money that you're making from voiceover, is that like equaling what your full-time job income is?
I'm really close.
Or more? I'm really close. And
yeah.
The only thing that's holding you back is time.
It's so close. It's one of those things, like, granted, the other job has benefits and things like that, but it's so funny because once you start doing something you love, it's like, wow, it doesn't even matter. I just want to be happy doing what I'm doing.
Well, here's the thing: is like, do you have to quit from full time, or is there an option to go part time?
Hard, just because of the position that I'm in right now. My other job's for the government, so it's really hard to go part time with that right now, especially if I'm staying, just because we're losing so many other people.
Yeah, I bet.
But yeah, so I would just like to run away.
Yeah, I get.
You don't need to know that, though.
If something does happen, you've got voiceover, and I have no doubt in my mind that it's going to work immediately for you. If this is how you're starting.
Well, that's why I'm saying the universe knew I was supposed to be here. It's like, here you go, here you go, here you go. Yeah.
Now, with your full-time job, like, are you able to like sneak away like bathroom breaks? Like, you said that you're working from home online for the government.
Yeah.
Do they like have cameras watching you to make sure you're in front of your desk right now?
No. No.
What did you do?
No. I'll usually take a break in the morning and afternoon in my lunch. So I have a 15-minute break. So I get in here, I record. I will sometimes edit if I'm still doing the other job quickly, but it's really just in between. I just go back and forth. I have 2 desks in my office, and I have 1 rolling chair, and I roll back and forth.
That's amazing. See, because the reason I'm honing in on this is because there's so many people, especially in the free community, and people that hit me up on YouTube. And one of the top questions is this possible to do with a full-time job? And I always say, like, it's easier to do it without a full-time job, or if the full-time job is at night. But in the day, like, you're proof and point that it is possible. You can do it. You just got to get up a little early, put in a bunch of time. How much time do you put in before you go to work, and what time do you start work officially?
I usually put in 2 hours before work. So I'll get up at 5:30. I start by 6, and I'll do auditions if I have enough auditions. And then if I don't have any auditions, I'm working on, a logo or website or something like that. And then I log into work at 8.
At 8. Okay. And then you break a lunch, and then you do as much as you can after work, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a grind. Now, I'm super lucky because I work from home. I am right next to my booth. That is the easy part for me. I don't know if I would be doing as well if I had a full-time job that was out and not in my home.
Probably take an extra 2 hours out of your day right there just for the commute there and back, right? And then like the little things in between. How many hours a day do you think you're spending on voiceover right now? Like Monday to Friday? I assume
oh gosh.
Entire time.
Don't make me do math right now.
Roughly. You don't have to do it perfectly. Like 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours. What do you think?
Probably 5 to 6 every day.
That's great. That's really good.
I'm getting off work and then I'm going right back to auditions. And I mean, our auditions, now that I'm on Voice 123, they come in all times. So, I may be in bed at 10 o'clock and an audition comes through and I go, oh, hold on, I got 10 minutes. Let me go do this real quick.
And what gear do you have right now? What are you using? You're booking all this stuff. You have like top of the line? Are you using a 416? Doesn't look like it.
No. I looked up the best microphone I could get for the best price, which is the Rode. Ended up getting the Rode NT1 5th Gen. And then just for my audio interface, I just use it's a Focusrite, but I want to call it something totally different.
Scarlett, Focusrite? Is it the
Scarlett.
Solo or the 2i2?
2i2.
You did? Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get the Solo. The Solo, I don't know. If you're watching this Focusrite, the Solo is a piece of junk. It used to be good, but whatever they did in the newer ones, it doesn't work very well, like with certain programs and on PCs especially, and all that. So what's your next big purchase for VoiceOver? Because now you're doing all this stuff, you probably want to start upgrading. I don't know if you need to upgrade the mic anytime soon, but you might want to think about it.
Well, I know I want to go with the what's the name of the one you have? The shotgun mic.
416, yeah.
Yeah, just because I live next to a highway and I do have some road noise. But I guess I'm not in a hurry. I really want to get as far as big purchases, I really want to do my demo.
Do you know who you're going to go with?
I don't yet.
Check them all out.
Who did Brian go through?
J. Michael Collins, JMC Demo. Yeah, J. Michael Collins.
That's what I've been looking at.
Amazing work. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say him or Mark Grau or Ear Blowing Audio, or the big three that do usually the top people's demos. There's some other great demo producers out there right now. I just don't know them. I know those guys work, and I would definitely recommend any one of those three are really good for commercials. So what do you think? With all the new people starting out, is this possible in 2025 with AI and all that kind of stuff?
100%. Yeah. And something we've done that you've really brought up in class is using AI to your advantage. And that has helped out a whole bunch. That makes our life a lot easier.
What do you think, in your opinion, what do you think people, what is a good sort of steps to starting would be? Obviously, get your gear, training, what else do you think? What positive mindset? In your opinion, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, whatever you think.
My biggest thing was I just didn't do it. I just didn't start. I just didn't start. And that was the only thing I was missing. I kept overthinking, okay, I have to have the right equipment. Oh gosh, is my equipment good enough? I think one of our first meetings, I was like, I got this mic and I don't think it's going to work. And you're like, you're fine. Just work. And then I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know how to record. I really didn't know much. I just knew how to talk. Auditioning was by far the quickest way to learn. Just getting in there and doing it, because the repetition, I think of it now, I've been doing this for 3 months and I've probably done over 700, 800 auditions now. So
nice.
That's a lot of practice. That's a lot of practice. And I'm having more fun with my editing. It's sounding better. Speaking of, I got my audio done by Jordan a couple weeks ago, and that has boosted my jobs.
Nice.
So, but my ultimate advice is just start.
I couldn't agree more. And also for those of you watching who don't know who she means by Jordan Reynolds, the audio ninja. He's an amazing VO himself. He's also the voice of Adam Warlock in Marvel's Rivals, but he also does a huge amount of professional voice actors audio chains. So check out your audio, your booth. So if you're unsure if you have great sound or not, check out Jordan Reynolds. He's amazing. George the Tech is great too. Yeah, just starting is the number one thing. For me too, I was I overthought so much, and I was you know what? it. I went and got some gear. And then at first I didn't get the right stuff. And then I rented stuff because I couldn't afford it, and just kind of like did it as I went and just really, really, really went for it.
Yeah, it's way easier to progress that way too, because you're making money as you're learning. Like, and that money's just coming in and going straight back into the business. Everything I get to upgrade, and I get demos. And I mean, it's expensive, but when you get in here and you're working for that, and it also helps that I have another job too. But then you can just kind of like build up really quickly.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's key too. Like, I always tell people, like, you know, it's nice to like go full time in voice acting, have it as your only thing. Like, plan it out and think about it too, because if you're able to go part time at a job, maybe you get benefits, but you also get like a people interaction. Just, I guess what I'm saying is, don't be in a rush, because when voiceover is your only full time thing, and you're not clearly making more than your regular job every single month on month, and it can be pretty stressful. And the last thing you want to sound is desperate in your audition. So take your time with going full time. I mean, you're crushing a lot of people that have been doing this for a while. If you're booking 20 jobs in like 3 months.
And I feel I'll be honest, I feel kind of guilty, because I didn't know that this would happen.
Well, the only way to know is by trying it. But like, listen, like, it's like you said, it's everything in your life has been leading up to this point. You like talking out loud, and you liked reading out loud in class.
Yep.
You like, you know,
I have a background in singing. Yeah, and performing.
Huge.
Yeah.
Singing's huge.
Singing has helped me more than anything, I think.
Yeah.
My background in singing. That's another great tip for people. If you want to be a voice actor, start singing. I sing every morning. That's how I warm up.
Really? That's how you warm up? You do singing warm up?
Yeah, I sing. I just put on the same video I'm obsessed with Sister Act 2, and their final performance is like one of my favorites. So I will just put on Joyful, Joyful. I'm not religious either, which is so funny. And I will just sing that every morning.
Well, thank you so much for jumping on this. I really appreciate it. So what's, just before I let you go here, what's your ultimate goal? Like, what do you want to achieve? What's next for you? Like, once you get your demo and all that stuff, like, what do you want to work in?
I'm going to take over the voiceover world. No, I really like commercial right now. That's been super fun. I want to get more into character work, but that has been one of my hard points of getting past my own self, of like just being wild and crazy and letting it out.
You got to do it. Get with Mark Groud. Take a couple privates with him if you're worried about doing it in a group setting. Just take a couple privates. It'll change everything, especially with the singing. You probably want to do like a Disney Pixar film, right?
That would be fun.
So much animation has singing. Singing's like, I would say about 50% of the auditions I get for animation, there's at least one character who needs to be able to sing at some point.
Really?
Yeah.
Fun. Yeah. I gotta start getting into those. But it's just been so much fun lately. I enjoy this so much. I have ADHD, and this is like the perfect job, because you get to be not only like a business person, so you're finance, you're an audio engineer, you're a voice actor, you're just like all these things, but then I get to get up every 20 minutes and go to the booth and go back and be an audio engineer. Like, I'm not stuck in one spot, and it's so wonderful.
Perfect. So if you have ADHD,
VoiceOver
for you.
Look into this.
Thanks again so much. Where can people find you if they want to find you on social media and all that stuff?
Nowhere right now, but we're getting
Nowhere
it
right
up.
Now? Okay, cool.
I'm working on my LinkedIn, so look for me there first. Here, I'll get it up like today now.
As soon as you have all that stuff, shoot the links to me, and I'll put them in the description below on the video so people can find you. Perfect. And thank you so much for being here, Whitney. I really appreciate it. And if you guys are looking to get into voiceover and you think, hey, I have ADHD, this may be for me, or you're looking to have some fun and, maybe replace your day job, check the links below. There's many ways to work with us. We have a free community for those of you who are just dipping your toes in, and the paid community as well if you want to take it a little bit more serious. But other than that, I'm Jesse. This is Whitney, and we will see you another time. Bye, everybody.